Hey everyone, what is going on, and welcome back to today's video. In today's video we're jumping into another operator guide. I believe this is our 8th or 7th operator guide now. It's a new week, which means it's a new operator. Last week we dived into Valkyrie, and Valkyrie, the votes in Valkyrie's video were pretty clear. Echo came in with 31 votes, while Maverick had 44, but Buck was the clear winner with 84. So yeah, that's who we're going to be jumping into this video, and before we jump into this video, I also need to outline two things. First thing is going to be the clips you're going to see in the background are obviously in Terrorist Hunt. I really apologize for that, but the file I had that I was going to use for this video, it did every technical problem possible. I tried to trim it down because my editor wouldn't take it in because the file was too big because we were recording for ages. And then I tried to trim it down, and then apparently I didn't have the permissions to trim it down, so I tried to take it online and the file size was too big to trim it down. I did everything I could, but I could not get this file to work. So I apologize for the clips in the background. They are not gameplay, but hopefully they can still be enjoyable to watch while I give you the main purpose of this video, which is the content of what I'm telling you. And secondly, we have to dive into who we're going to be doing next week. So the operators on the line for next week are going to be Jackal, Mozzie, and Mira. And the way the system works is I'm going to leave 3 comments down below, and you just go and like whichever operator you want to see in next week's video. So drop a like on the comment down below if you would like to see whichever operator you want for next week. And that's how Buck won this one, and that's why we're going to do him. So let's jump into the video. So as always, we're going to start off with the weapon review, then we're going to go into the gadget utilization, then we're going to go into the operator strategies. So other than that, let's jump into the weapon review. So starting off with Buck's primary weapon, it is the C8 SFW assault rifle. This comes in with 40 damage with 837 rounds per minute, and this gun actually hits really hard. It's definitely a good damaging weapon, and a lot of the pros do use this weapon. If you ever watch Pro League, Buck is definitely a top tier operator in that relevance. But the thing that stops people from playing him the most is his recoil pattern, but let me just tell you, it's definitely been buffed recently. I think they've changed it around, because when I was using this gun just for practice and learning it, it's definitely got a lot less recoil than what it used to have. The gun's definitely more controllable now, so I definitely advise you guys to go try this gun out if you're looking to play Buck and get him. It's not as hard as it used to be to use at all, and I definitely recommend you just give it a go, because if you can control this gun, if you put the practice in to master it, Buck is a great operator to use. So I'm just going to give you an example quickly of my recoil pattern when I'm not controlling it and my recoil pattern with it, just to show you guys that it definitely is easier to control, as I'm a controller player, and I'm still able to control it reasonably decently with my sensitivity. With 30 rounds in the magazine, this gun is a great weapon to use, and I definitely recommend you use it. So his second primary in his loadout is going to be the CAMRS Marksman Rifle. This gun comes in at 69 damage per shot on obviously a pretty non-existent fire rate because it's a single shot weapon and it just depends on your trigger finger. This gun is actually pretty good if you are good with DMRs. DMRs are definitely different compared to the whole assault rifle game. It's definitely different to control, but if you're good with them, like if you practice with your DMRs, this gun is really good. With 69 damage a shot, that's a 2-hit injure or kill depending on where you hit them. If you utilize this gun right, it can definitely be useful, but you just have to get it right. You know, if you're a DMR player, use the DMR, but I definitely recommend the assault rifle more just for gunfight battles, because obviously majority of the defenders are going to be shooting at you with ARs, and unless you're a god with a DMR, assault rifle is definitely the best thing to pick. And of course, in the secondary section, he has the MK1 9mm pistol. This is a pretty good pistol on 48 damage a hit. This thing's going to hit pretty hard. If it does 48 damage, that's 3 hits injure. Unfortunately, it's 3 because 48 times 2 isn't 100 just yet. But I mean, if you hit them in the head, they die anyway. So it's just a good pistol to have in the backup to your AR, but the AR is definitely the recommended gun to use, obviously. Now diving into sights, specifically on the AR, it really depends on personal use. I prefer to use the ACOG depending on just the situation. I put the reflex on sometime if I'm playing on a map like House, but House isn't in ranked. Majority of the ranked maps are big open. I'd recommend you use an ACOG. And yeah, definitely recommend you use the ACOG for just competitive use if you want the range, but if you don't want the range, it's just personal preference between reflex, red dot, holographic, whichever one you guys like using, use it. But I think the ACOG is the best quality sight. And in terms of his gadget, he obviously has the flashbang and the grenade, but the grenade's not going to be hanging around for much longer. That's why I didn't outline it really in this video. That's why in the operator strategies I'm not going to talk about fragging, because obviously you can't do it anymore. So I'd bring the stuns. I'm pretty sure the substitute he's getting is a claymore, so it's really just up to you what you want to do. I'd recommend using the stuns on an operator like Buck over a claymore, but if you'd like to protect yourself from runouts, bring that claymore. Now diving into the gadget utilization on Buck, we're obviously going to be diving into the skeleton key. Skeleton key is a great secondary weapon to have that you can. It's basically a secondary weapon that you can control at the press of an RB button or whatever button you press on your controller or PC. This gives you the ability to get out a secondary shotgun built into the bottom of both of his primary weapons. That gives you the ability to soft breach any soft wall, and it also gives you a shotgun that you can bust out whenever you need to if you're in close range battles. Now, the skeleton key can be very useful depending on your situation, so if you're in a corner or if you're in a close range gunfight, use the skeleton key. It can really help you out if you get the shotgun out, and just gives you that advantage, quick damage that you can use on someone. As long as they're not absolute sweat lords drop shotting the hell out of you, you can probably pick up the kill just shotgunning them instead of shooting them with the AR. Much more precise and much more chance of a kill. But obviously the primary use for this is soft breaching. The best way to play Buck in terms of utility is to play above or below and just bully the hell out of people from above and below. Just completely stitch up their day. If it's a soft objective, try and shoot the bottom out so they have to rotate towards maybe a teammate, communicate that and shoot them. Or just shoot above and just try and get some line of sight through the iron bars above. Above play is definitely something you have to learn. You don't just pick it up on the spot. But once you've practiced it enough, it can be very good, and that's what all the pros do. But utilizing the skeleton key to the best of your ability is a key to a success, and it can really help in any rank just to get secure easy wins, just to throw off the team. If you shoot above majority of the time, it's either going to be a really bold person who's going to peek you back, or they're just going to run off, which is what you want, because then they normally rotate mindlessly, and then they just run into an enemy, and then they get killed, which is an easy frag, which is what the goal can be. I definitely recommend you utilize above and below play with Buck, and just use it to get through walls if you really want to. That it's there, just use it to just soft breach a wall, get a hatch, maybe a soft hatch. Just help out the team as much as you can with this ability, because that's the goal. But don't forget, it can be used as a weapon, and don't just use your primary weapon all the time. If you have the ability to use the skeleton key in a gunfight and it's the right situation for it, go for it. It will really help you, and it'll definitely increase your chances in picking up the win against that enemy. Now diving into the most important thing about Buck, which I feel like is the most overall thing I wanted to talk about, it's his operator strategies. Now Buck is obviously he can be played as a frag due to his really good weapon, but he's mainly a support. I feel like he should be playing Buck as a support, and teaming these two up is the best way to utilize Buck and making good efficiency of the whole operator. So when I mean pairing these two up, so what you want to do is support is like helping the team, playing above, getting those roofs open, getting line of sights into the objective, and just showing that you are there and distracting the hell out of the enemy team from above, taking their line of sight off someone possibly pushing and focusing on you. This is what I mean by support. If you just completely distract the other team by just shitting through the floors, that's what we really want, and that's what you guys want to do with Buck. Open those line of sights and peek as hard as you can. Now, I would give you a tip to throw a frag grenade, but obviously he's not going to have frags for much longer, so I'm not going to give you that tip. But an example is if you're on consulate and they're in garage. If you have a Buck, you can go above into the piano area, shotgun through the floor, and then it's an easy pick on either a bandit, maybe bandit tricking, or even if you can just utilize that to shoot the bandit so a thermite can get that wall open and you can rotate through. This is an example of how to use Buck as a support operator. Work with your team as much as you can, and then it'll even get you a kill maybe. If that bandit's bandit tricking and no one's covering piano, that's an easy kill for you. Another example is on Chalet, and if the defenders are in the kitchen trophy objective, if you push in through big garage, through just below, and you Buck out the floor, you can take complete control of the trophy objective, because that whole floor is soft, and you can just keep bucking through the floor, and they're going to have nowhere to hide. You're just going to push them off that site, which gives your teammate the ability to jump through the window. You got to obviously watch the rotation through from kitchen, but if you can utilize that well, you really can deal some damage and get an easy plant down, especially if someone's watching from above as well to cover you from the hatch, maybe from above, or just in general. And that is definitely a good way to utilize Buck as a support. And if you want to be a frag with Buck, that's also okay. But I recommend you use him as a frag while being a support. So while you do these things, play aggressive, rush people. Obviously, people are going to come to you if they're pissed off that you're bucking the hell out of the floor. So frag them off, take them out. If you piss off a Cav, she tries to come interrogate you, dome her in the face. Like, just utilize that attack to the best you can and frag off while you're doing it. Try and find some random dude on Chalet who's still trying to hide in the trophy objective and just end his life. This is what I mean by fragging. And obviously fragging is just depending on the individual player's capabilities. So if you guys really want to frag, make sure you're good at it. If you're not, make sure to just play the support role on the team that you can if you are picking Buck. And other than that, that's all I have about to say, really. I would go over a clip overview, but obviously I don't have any clips to overview. I did have one picked out ready to go, but I lost it. So I apologize for not including that in today's video. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to go vote down below whether you either want Jackal, Mozzie, or Mira. Just pick who you want. Make sure to drop a like on that comment down below. And if you guys are still around, thank you for 5,000 subscribers. I just want to give a little thank you. I'll have an announcement soon on when I'm doing the 24-hour live stream. But thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something new from this buck guide, and hopefully I can help you play a better buck. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!